Welcome to the Sic Podcast. Today we're trying out a new series called Quick Ones with the Sick Ones. And for our very first guest, we've got Panita.
Hello.
And Panita's brought a very interesting topic for us to discuss in the next about a half hour or so. So what do we have going on, Panita?
Alright, so my topic for today is how do you handle criticism?
Alright, so I think that we should start with our other guest, Razme, who's here, on how he handles his criticisms.
First of all, welcome back.
Oh, thank you. Glad to be back, guys. I always enjoy being on here. So how do I handle criticism? Well, I mean, of course, if you're getting criticized for something, that means that you probably need to learn. So technically, what I usually do is I usually just take it. I don't really think too much about it. I just take it into account and just, try to learn from it. I mean, sometimes it's hard because sometimes I'm like set in my ways. But I mean, like if I know something's wrong, I'm definitely gonna try. That's pretty much how
I will say, just knowing you do handle criticism. Oh, I mean, you do take it well. We play League. It can be super tilting, super antagonizing, super frustrating. But this man always has a cool head. Well, almost always. And so I can definitely see that part of you.
I mean, I don't know, like for me, I tend to let a lot of things go. Like I usually don't tend to like hold it in. Mm-hmm. So like I don't know. That's pretty much how it works for me.
I mean, I have like two different things going on with me. So I can see both sides. So for your side, when I hang out with you guys or when I play League, I can let go of shit pretty easily. It might take a few seconds.
Oh yeah.
I might say, "Fuck this guy, I hate." But right after that, it's over. So in that way, like if you criticize me, I feel like I try to take it well, but honestly, inside I don't take it well. Like in my head, it's not just that I'm stubborn or in my ways. I'm also like super arrogant. I always think I'm right. Mm-hmm. Like I always, and if I'm not right, I'll still argue, right until I'm proven wrong, and then I'm gonna go out with a huff, okay, well I'll grumble about it. I'm that guy. I'm super difficult. I mean, I try not displaying that, and you guys don't see that because usually we're super understanding and accommodating. But in a situation where, let's say, a superior or an authority or whatever criticizes me, and I, for some weird reason, believe I should not be criticized, I take it personally. I start getting angry. I'm like, man, this guy doesn't know what he's talking about, all that good stuff. It also depends on who, right? So. Oh yeah. Here's a big one. Like for me, if my parents criticize me, it cuts a lot deeper than when any of you guys criticize me. Mm-hmm. See, when you guys criticize me, I immediately be like, you know what? Maybe they got something. I should probably not be a dick, or maybe I said something out of turn, or let me at least hear their side, right? But I don't know. I think it's just a kind of familial thing where like we're so used to arguing or whatever. You're like, no, I'm right. It's just, I do it with my siblings, with my family. But criticism on that scale hits me more personally. Yeah. And I take it silently. I don't react. But inside I'm like, man, I'm right. They're wrong. Like, I just have that arrogance. And that's something I got to work on.
Right.
So, yeah, I'm pretty much the same way, actually. Like, if I had to say how I take criticism, I would say poorly. I wish I was more like Razme, where I was more like level-headed and chill about it, because internally I'll start like maybe questioning myself a little bit, but then at the same time I'm like, man, I just don't take it super well, so it's something I want to work on myself too. But yeah, what about you, Sonny?
I think I'm just like a Roz and you, Chris. Basically, I take it. I'm like, in the outside, I'm like, oh, that's okay. I understand. But deep down, I'm not angry. I'm just hurt. I'm just hurt a lot. I'm like, damn, I fucked up. Just because one time, Roz graded my paper. Or like revised my paper.
I didn't grade your paper. I destroyed.
Yeah, he destroyed my paper. I was mad at him.
Yeah, he never came back to me for anything. Everyone else came back, but he didn't.
I was too mad at him. So now Ross is off my list.
but it turned into a much stronger paper.
It did, and I'm happy for that. little mad.
Okay. To be fair,
Yeah,
I can still kind of see.
to be
the
honest,
hatred.
I'm glad Ross was there for the criticism, and I'm happy he did that for everything. I'm just being petty now, but if I do have another paper that I definitely want to be like reviewed or revised, I'll probably just go to Ross or any of one of my other friends that will way smarter than me when it comes to writing shit.
I also feel like it also depends on like the like how big the effect is. I'm trying to
or
find the word.
maybe how close to your heart, how
yeah,
close
like
to your beliefs or
how
your
personal,
values.
yeah, it is to you. Like,
So if I criticize maybe your paper and you accept, all right, maybe they know more than me, so and maybe it's easier for you. But if someone criticizes like your beliefs or your value system, or maybe like there's something that you do, you do well, and someone says, like someone
Yeah.
puts you down for it,
yeah,
then
or
it
if it's
hurts
like,
more. All right, I
or
can
if
see
it's
that.
or if it's like if you know you have a flaw and then like someone just kind of like
Points it out,
calls you out,
Mhm.
yeah,
and he's like, man, fuck off.
yeah, of
That's
course,
how
yeah, of
I
course.
am.
I feel like you're gonna be like, you're gonna be more like defensive about your stance.
Yeah.
I feel like because me and Ross get into it all the time about our belief systems,
Oh yeah.
but when it comes from him, it never really affects me personally. It's more of like an objective kind of criticism to whatever I'm thinking about,
Right.
and then it forces me to kind of rethink whatever ideas I have. And a lot of the time, I'm not really swayed, but sometimes I'm like, okay, I'll take that into consideration, and then like moving forward, I'll consider that in my whatever thought I have. But if it's not coming from Ross, I get fucking pissed off, man.
Well, I mean,
I get too heated, man. That's my problem. I get too tilted.
I mean, it's because you and I both are very careful about when we say there's something for our belief, our opinions. We kind of state that we're like, we respect each other's opinions
Yeah.
enough that even if I disagree with you on some level, I'm gonna be like, all right, this is my way of thinking, or this is my point.
Yeah,
I
that's
see
kind of
it.
just our thing too. Because
I mean, I feel like this is what everyone should take away from this: is that you don't have to impose your belief system on somebody else. At the end of the day, whether it's political, any sort of controversy, sometimes it's better. Like, I mean, I'm a Muslim. We have a thing where it says when it comes to the point where you may or may not, you may be right, but it gets too argumentative, you say salam and leave, which means peace. You know what? I hope you just have a peaceful life, and you should leave.
Amen.
That's it, right? And we all can agree on that at some level, that sometimes it's better just not to argue. My issue is I love arguing.
I'm the opposite. I hate arguing, and it's like when people criticize me or something, I am a very emotional person, and it's like everybody is. I'm very emotional, so it's like, but it's like I either cry about it or I get pissed, and I'm also just like, but at the same time, it's like I'm more pissed at myself for not seeing things that they're criticizing me for ahead of time. It's like, damn, I should have noticed, but I didn't because I'm stuck in my own ways. And it's like, I'm mad at myself, and I internalize that, and it just bothers me for the rest of my life, because I'm like, at the same time as like I'm very emotional, I'm also the kind of person to bottle it up and not talk about it. And it's like, at the same time, I don't want to argue. It's like, as much as I want to argue in the moment, and I'm like, no, I'm fine, like I'm not doing anything wrong, like maybe you're just not seeing it the way I see it. But it's like, man, at the same time, I also hate arguing with people. So I'm like, I'd rather just sit there and take the criticism and cry about it later.
No, that's fair. Another friend was saying, like, even if they're completely right and they're arguing with someone, and that other person starts getting loud, she just shuts down. She's like, all right, you know what? I'm not talking to you.
it gets stressful, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I completely get that. I mean, I'm more of when the situation starts getting louder, I match it. I get just as loud. I'm very argumentative.
Yeah, I don't know. I usually tend to like stay away from that because
I'm like Raspberry.
I wish I could be level headed.
Raspberry and Sunny have a skill
Yeah,
of
they're not
just
confrontational at
They're
all.
not.
Yeah, no, we're not.
We ran away.
And it's like, normally I used to not be confrontational, but now it's like I feel like I need to defend myself, because I'm like,
There's certain I would prefer not to get into a scuffle.
I really don't want to, but I'm like,
if it comes down to it, there's so many times I wish I did, man. Because there's like, for example, you remember that guy that came up to our floor that one time and he was just being such a dick?
yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
man,
yeah.
I wanted to say something so
And
bad.
that's the thing. I'm like, oh, in those moments if there's things like that, I wasn't there, but I heard it.
I get
heard
so
the story.
heated.
I'm like, man, I would have popped off.
All right, so here's the thing. I came out of the bathroom. All right, so I'm pretty much the most outspoken when it comes to random strangers here in this room, I think. I came out of the bathroom, joined the group. This guy randomly came, and he's like, can you guys Like,
I think he
Like,
said, shut the fuck up.
he's
Yeah,
like,
he's
"Yes,
like,
please shut the fuck up. There
yeah.
are people on the second floor. We were on the third floor. There are people on the second floor. I mean, there's like a kind of window, an opening.
Mhm.
We can hear everything you're talking about. There are people trying to study. It's midterm time, whatever. So everybody, there was like 10 of us.
There's at
There was
least
a
10.
big ass group of us. Everyone just silent, just taking this. And then I just stand up, I'm like, yo, okay, we're sorry. It's not gonna happen again. And he leaves. In my head, I thought I did the right thing. Later, I was told while I was in the bathroom, this is the second time he said shit. The first time he yelled out from downstairs. Is that right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right.
If had I known that, I would have probably gotten angry at him.
Mhm.
But
I was so.
I'm glad I didn't. And you know what sucks? It's literally once he left, everybody was like, man, I hate that guy and everything. And I'm getting snapped at that guy from before. I'm like, okay, if you feel that way, you should have fucking said something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But yeah, y'all are pussies.
Yeah, for real. Like, I don't think I would ever actually say anything.
I think I would, just because, like, now I've become so defensive and aggressive when it comes to things like that. Because I'm like, man, I feel like working in a restaurant industry, like, in the restaurant industry, you deal with so many people who can be complete dicks, but it's like you have to, like, smile and take it. And I'm just like, I'm so done taking it. I'm so done with people trying to, like, tell me that what I'm doing is wrong, when I'm just like, I'm just trying to live my life. And so I'm like, that's my ideology, where it's like, you should just live your own life and, you know, live, like, follow your own rules. But at the same time, there's just so many expectations that society has like made, like, you know, like, there's just so many morals and so many values that, like, determine on, like, what a good person is, what the right path is, where I'm just like, dude, like, just live and let live, you know? But it's like, when people don't see it that way, you know, they see that I'm immature, and because they see that I'm immature, when I don't feel like I'm super immature, like, I admit, like, I have my moments, you know, but, like, when they question my maturity, that's when I get on the defensive. That's when I get aggressive.
Okay. So yeah, obviously there is that point when people should not criticize unfairly, right?
Mhm.
But assuming that criticism does happen, whether fair or not, how we handle it is, I mean, already we got different flavors here. We got different people who react very differently. Actually, we all react the same. We don't do shit.
Well, yeah, I think it's only internal.
Yeah.
They were like,
Our reactions
like, fuck that
internally
guy.
are like.
Yeah. So like,
but it's like,
But
I don't know.
We would never. I don't think any of us would ever. Well, Russ is like, yeah, he's more outspoken, but I don't think any of us would actually say anything.
I still wouldn't throw hands or anything like that.
yeah, like,
I'd get my ass beat.
Because
I wouldn't throw hands, but I would
there's-
exchange words.
You have to weigh your options carefully.
yeah.
Oh,
Pick your fights.
You have to
be
pick your battles,
absolutely
yeah.
honest. When it comes to strangers, like, we are super rational when it comes to stuff. I mean, fear, or like, not fear, but like fear of any sort of confrontation or non-confrontation side of us sometimes makes us freeze mentally, where we just kind of just take it.
Yeah.
Maybe just me sounding arrogant, but I feel like I'm super rational in those situations where I can formulate a response and talk back. I'm not gonna just have somebody talk at me constantly and just take that shit. Just today on our way here, I mean, there was these people handing out flyers, and it was a good message. Had I time, I would maybe listen to them. It was like, you know, animal rights, something or the other, and I'm sure they had a good message to send. And they're like, do you care about? And man, Razme and Chris were on my right, closer to this lady, and they were both like pausing, slowing down. I'm like, no, I can't let this happen. I said no, thank you, loud enough for her to hear. And then instead of Razme immediately started walking away. He's like, all right, cool, I got my ass covered. Chris, the thought process, I saw it all happen in his face. He turned away from her. She was probably still looking when he just kind of almost physically, he didn't breathe a sigh of relief, but his face said all of it. He's like, yeah, I gotta go. And he fucking stopped, pivoted, heard me say no thank you, turned away. Now he just looks like he's my bitch. No, we are super non-confrontational, but sometimes it does help to kind of say what you need to say.
I don't know about you guys, but if I get into a confrontational situation, my heart immediately starts beating like really fast.
Oh my god.
That's me when I need to make a phone call.
I don't think it's like an anger response or anything.
No, it's
That's
that
why it's
adrenaline.
It's
Like
anxiety.
a nervousness.
It's like a
type
nerve.
of-
Yeah, it's like
yeah.
nerves.
I
It's like,
fully understand.
No.
it's like, oh, fuck, what the hell is gonna
No.
happen now?
I got a
You know what
call.
I actually had that happen. Oh my gosh, I was at Starbucks, and I'm like, the Starbucks at Target, like, that's my go-to Starbucks. I know all the baristas there. And tell me why this lady was just like was just going off on him, because so she had ordered a drink that was she ordered a grande, and he had heard a grande, but then when she got her drink, she was like, no, I clearly got a venti. I always order a venti, and she's just going off on him like he's stupid. And, you know, he was just talking to me about it because, you know, we're chill. And but he's also the kind of guy where it's like, he'll like talk about like, he'll shit talk people indirectly right in front of them. And I'm just sitting there and I'm like, I'm not trying to be confrontational. But I feel like at this point, like.
Wait, is this one of those, someone's angry in front of you, so you turn to your coworker and says, do you see this do you see this guy? Is it one of those things?
He was basically like, this is what happens in the service industry. And I was like, honestly, like, you just got, like, I'm like, at the same time, I'm just like, please don't do this right here. Please don't do this right here. I'm also just like, this lady is pissing me off. I had just gotten off of work. I was already tired. And I was just like, honestly, like, why are you arguing? Just admit, like, you know, like that, like, hey, like, you probably made a mistake. Like, why is it that you always blame the person serving you and not yourself, you know? And so I got defensive and I stood up for him and I could feel like my heart pumping, my adrenaline. And I'm just like, look, like, the service industry, it's hard. People always want to blame you because they think they're right. They think that the motto, the customer is always right, is like what you live by. It's like, no, like, you could make a mistake. You just don't want to, like, admit it. And, like, she was just talking to him like it's like he's stupid, all in front of her daughter. And literally, she turns to me and goes, you two made me feel so uncomfortable. And I'm just like, well, you know, this is just the reality of the service industry. And she was like, well, then maybe you should get an office job, get a 9 to 5. And I'm like, I'm a fucking student, like, trying to get to that 9 to 5. Maybe you old hag, like, can move out of that.
So I'm fully aware. I'm fully sure you did not say that.
I did.
Okay,
no,
but
I did call after her and it was like, I'm still in school. Like, I'm trying to get that 9 to 5. But in order to get to that 9 to 5 and have some experience in the work industry, like, in the, like, workforce, I started somewhere.
That's fair. Okay, so two things. One, on the smaller scale, it's the customer is right. That's like kind of the driving force of, you know, how a business model should be.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Of
I
sales.
know.
I get that, but that doesn't necessarily mean they can walk in and say we're the one. They're technically right?
Yeah.
It's a phrasing with a meaning, and yeah, people take it way too far.
Yeah.
But also that leads me to the bigger issue, which is kind of highlighted completely here, is that people, and obviously since we're also talking about us, we tend to think that we're right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we've said it like multiple times, like, we hate our past selves, right, for mistakes. Everyone feels that cringe. Everyone feels that embarrassment. But if you went back, do you believe that your past self probably thought they were right, and now your present self's like, man, I was an idiot. My parents were right, or that person was right, or that my teacher was right.
Oh yeah, so like.
I feel like I'm an idiot on a daily basis.
Okay,
Yeah, I mean,
okay,
like,
but
so,
you
like,
know what I'm saying? Like, do you ever admit that, okay, my past self did not admit fault when they should have?
Right. Yeah. I mean, like, I mean, of course, most of us, all of us now are in college. We're very close to
Graduating.
going into the real world.
Not me. I'm staying here for
but-
25 years.
But
I wish, man.
yeah, like back in high school, I was definitely just like a little shit. You know, like I was naive. You know, I thought everything I did was correct. You know, but like I think like what really helped me a lot was having two like older sisters, like who've gone through all that stuff. You know, so they like understand more, and like I used to argue with them all the time. Like, you know, like, oh, like, you know, I'm right about this, blah blah. And they'd be like, no, that's wrong. Like looking back now, I realize I was wrong. But it's like I don't know, like looking back, I did a lot of stupid shit. I said a lot of like ignorant things.
Oh yeah.
Which now I'm like more like careful about like doing. But I feel like everything's just a learning experience, you know?
Yeah.
Definitely. So yeah, I'm not saying this to say that we're all like shitty people on the inside because we learn. I'm
Oh,
just
yeah,
saying it comes to that, if we follow that model in our future, we're probably gonna be saying stuff about ourselves now.
Yeah.
That damn, I wish I had or whatever. So lady.
If we brought it back to the criticism stuff, man. So I think there's two things to consider. Is one, is the person delivering it worthy of learning from? And two, do we choose to take it as a lesson?
Right.
Yeah.
Right, and that's kind of accepting it. We can be wrong,
Yeah.
right? We don't always have to let our arrogance or.
Because if the criticism isn't constructive criticism, especially, you know, you identify the source as not being really constructive either, there's usually not much reason to, you know, take it to heart at all, and you just have to let that stuff go. And then, you know, from people it actually matters, you know, maybe, you know, you have to do some soul searching.
Yeah.
Yeah, same thing with the guy that tells us, you know, shut the fuck up. No, we all like, you know.
It was born out of anger, and I do understand that. Okay, midterm time, he is going through some stress, so like the source isn't so bad, the delivery was horrible.
Oh yeah, but I mean, like, I don't know. I felt like
But also, it wasn't important enough because we weren't in a library. We were in an open space where talking was the norm.
right.
I understand that we are on campus and that people are taking the midterms, and so of our
He
own
was just in the wrong place, man.
of our own volition, we decided to quiet down because that's technically, and I know this might not be the nice thing to say, but that's technically us taking the extra step of quieting down.
Mm-hmm.
We had no obligation to do that for real.
Yeah.
But also the whole criticism, the source point, and whatever they're saying, is it constructive criticism, and can you take a lesson from it? I mean, yeah, it does get muddy sometimes, right? The person might be like a horrible person, but well-intentioned.
Mm-hmm.
Like my dad can give criticism, but make it sound horrible because just the communication is not always there, and it's same back. Whereas like with you guys, sometimes we could be super friendly, but I'm not even trying to say shit, and then it turns into like a criticism,
Right.
right? Communication is big. That is key.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, handling criticism, I think those first two steps you mentioned, Chris, are extremely important. First, take it, right? Hear what the other person has to say. Judge, or try your best to judge whether it's worth listening to them and whether you can improve off of it. And of the five of us, that lesson will probably hit me the hardest.
I feel like when people like are criticizing you, they want you to learn from it fast. But it's like I'm the kind of person where it's like I need to make that mistake like 10 times before I can finally fully digest it.
Well, I mean, society and just our world, we as humans, what is it? It's instant gratification.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I would rather have it now than later. Obviously, that's just us.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely feel that way sometimes.
We all feel we're human. We have to feel that, right?
It's like a drug.
Yeah, it's how we are. It's just when we let our desires for certain things overtake our patience or our willingness to reach the end goal, right? So, like in the example of the customer probably wanted the instant gratification of you owning up to your mistake, getting her the drink she wanted, right? And she let that desire of what she wanted overcome the fact that, wait, let me check the receipt. What did I pay for?
Yeah.
Or let me just hear what this guy has to say, right? And because your job depends on it, you are kind of forced, as an employee, to be more patient. And so you're able to do that where the customer doesn't allow themselves that. So I think as humans, we all just need to take that extra step and be patient. Oh, were you gonna say that? Sorry.
Oh no, I was just gonna like agree with it because I mean I also work in retail too, but like I mean I'm usually patient with customers. Like if they say something to me,
yes, I saw you at your work. You were just smiling at everything. You were like the best
it's
employee
like
I've ever seen, and I'm like, this is not you, man. His dead inside look was not there. He looked lively, vibrant, young.
Yeah, but no, actually,
Spry young.
a lot of customers they actually like love me. It's
All the
but-
other women.
Yeah. All the old ladies that come every Sunday.
yeah, especially the Asian old ladies, man. They love me.
I expected that much.
But no, I feel like my mentality is more kind of like if they tell me something, it's more kind of like a forgive and forget type of mentality.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where like I usually won't tend to dwell on it very long. Like if they say it first and like it hits me, I'll be like, oh man, like yeah. I mean, I kind of feel some way, but after a while, I'm usually like, like it's whatever. Life happens.
Yeah.
I remember this one time at Dave & Buster's. There was a bunch of us, and you guys probably don't remember. It's such a small moment, and this kind of highlights the difference between me and you. Like, I wish I could have that mentality now, looking back. But, and that is something we can achieve. We can all work on ourselves, right? That's kind of the whole point. It's not just I may be good or bad at taking criticism. We can all better ourselves.
Oh yeah.
That's kind of the whole point here. But I just remember this one time at Dave & Buster's where we're in a huge group in kind of this little alleyway, and a couple were playing games. And I guess I was a little too far out into the aisle where people are coming. This little kid goes right past me, and I kind of like, bend my knees a little bit to make sure he can like just run, that little kid can run past. But I guess I don't pay attention, and I hear a really loud, "Excuse me, can you move?" And so I look up, and there's a guy with a stroller. Now my first instinct is to move, obviously. Oh shit, I'm in your way.
Yeah.
But this is where my arrogance comes to play. The way he said it, he was just so rude. Like, literally, I know I'm holding it for like 1.5 seconds, but fuck the way you said that.
Yeah.
So instead of moving first, I looked at him, we kind of paused, and then I moved. And it was really, really uncalled
Passive aggressive.
Yeah. That's the word. Passive. It was uncalled for on my part.
Right.
In all honesty. A better person would have moved aside, said, okay, maybe that guy was in a rush. Maybe he needs to be somewhere. He had a stroller. I couldn't see if there's a baby inside or not, but like, he's probably got stuff to attend to.
It's probably the kid that ran past you.
Okay, well that kid was a little older, so
Ah.
maybe it was 2. Okay, so that's what I'm saying. Like it looked like they knew each other, but I'm just saying a better person would have moved aside. Maybe even if he was at fault and he wasn't a Russian, he was just a rude dude. A better person would have moved aside anyways and said, you know what, forgive and forget.
Man.
But me, I'm like, don't talk to me like that. I will like literally the best way to antagonize me. No, actually no. Don't antagonize me, or I will not cooperate with you. Right?
Yeah.
Like most other people, you guys are willing to take some shit from like coworkers or maybe employers. I don't know, but I need cooperation. You're gonna have to work with me if you want my input.
Yeah.
You know, one of the cringiest, regret-filled moments of my life, at least in college, was actually with you, Roz.
Oh no!
And it wasn't.
What you do, Chris? What you do?
No, what
It
did
was,
I do?
it was what we both did, and it like haunts me, man. Sometimes I'll just like randomly think about it, like, oh god,
Wait, what happened?
so fucking cringe. But so anyway, we were trying to play basketball, and we went to one of the gyms on campus.
Wait, was it that one girl?
No, it was like, do you remember there was a class being held on one side of the gym, and we were like, whatever. And so we started dribbling the ball, and then like whoever was teaching it like stared us down, and they were like this.
Oh,
and-
okay.
Do you remember that?
Yeah, okay, so
And then we left, and I was like, why did we do that? Like,
Okay. I'm gonna disagree with your feeling here.
oh god, I was like so cringe. I was like,
which is such a weird thing to disagree with. I
feel like
disagree with what you feel.
I felt so like cringe, man.
Okay,
I was
no.
like, oh god, I feel like such a dick right now.
Okay, so here's the thing. All right, so our gym has like a bunch of courts, right? So one of the courts is rarely used. We kind of peek in through like the little door with the little rectangle window, and there's 2 full courts, and only the left court is being used, or the right. I forgot which, one side. But it looked like a coach and his team, but they're all sitting down, like in a small semicircle around him, where he was sitting on the bleacher.
Yeah.
So clearly he was telling them something, presenting something, talking, I don't know, something. And as important as it may or may not have been, we enter from the door leading to the other gym, the complete empty side. I dribble. Okay, there's no one else in this gym, by the way.
It was us 2, and then that class or whatever
that team
it
that
was.
could have fucking like ran us over.
So, and the way, you know, the gym echoes and everything, you could have dropped a quarter and it would have rang throughout the whole thing.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, so it was also like one. So
It was so loud.
I think I bounced the ball like 2 times.
it was
right?
twice, yeah.
It was 2 times. I don't know why I remember that, but it was 2 times.
It was
I
twice.
bounced it, and the coach just looks at us and like with a strong frown, not a slight frown, a strong frown, just shook his head, very slowly, but like 2 times, side to side, and we're like, no words were exchanged. We just picked.
I feel like it's just like that time and place that you don't really think about.
I mean, so in my personal defense, they were using 1 court.
Yeah.
To be absolutely fair, they probably booked the whole court. Right?
In the moment, we were probably like, yeah, maybe it'll be fine. And then I heard the ball bounce, and I was like, fuck.
Yeah, so then he immediately looked over, shook his head. I just clamped the ball with both my hands, and we walked out in shame.
Yeah, it was like one of the most like biggest walks of shame ever. And then
It was like 4 feet, man.
sometimes I'll just think of that, like it'll just like come to me when
Like
I'm
right
laying
when you're
in my-
about to go
yeah,
to
like
sleep,
when I'm like
your
laying in
eyes
bed.
are
Yeah, it's always
closed.
like,
Oh, that moment.
like an embarrassing moment.
So
We've
cringe.
all had embarrassment moments. Do you ever like physically act out when you see like you're like oh like you shiver or like man I wish I didn't.
Yeah.
do that.
I'm usually like, oh my god, like
Or
I just like
do you
shiver.
turn your head a little bit as if you don't want to see the memory?
Cringe compilations on YouTube. I can't watch them. I
Really?
cannot watch them, dude. Like they just mess me up too much.
I will say I did not even remember this incident at all
Really?
because
Yeah, like
I guess I didn't rate it as high as cringe.
it was just like, oh my god, like I should have been more like courteous or something.
Yeah.
But like on the
But
scale
it's
on the
one-
scale of fucking up, that was really minor, right?
It was low, but it was like, man, I should never like.
It's one of those moments where you're like, it should be okay, right?
Yeah, it's like, but
Okay,
as
to
soon as
be
you
fair-
hear the,
okay, so
the ball drop, oh,
That's
man.
when criticism just really hurts.
Yeah, it was like self-criticism at that
Like,
point.
Oh yeah,
It's like, oh,
yeah. At
God.
that point, it was we were clearly in the wrong. To be fair,
Yeah.
there were 3 major courts in our gym, and we tried all of them. They're all filled with other people playing basketball. Right? We couldn't find a court, so we found it's like so maybe there's some desperation involved. So maybe had we thought about it, we wouldn't have done it. But in the end, that's like criticism wasn't given to us from an external source. That was self-criticism, and that was well deserved. I think.
I
Yeah,
didn't
just
criticize
like,
you
oh,
guys
I
for
feel like
doing
people
that
take
though.
No, Chris didn't criticize me, and I didn't criticize
No,
him.
what about the coach? He's like,
Well, he
that-
just has that
that head
disapproval
shake?
look.
Yeah.
That head shake
Look
wasn't
of-
criticism.
Look
That
of
head shake-
shame.
it wasn't look of shame. It was like don't. It was
Look
more.
of disappointment.
No,
No,
no.
disapproval.
It was more of a don't.
Like don't do it.
Yeah, don't do that. Like you kids aren't allowed in here. Type
I
thing.
gotta say, like getting it off my chest though, I'm probably not gonna think about it again now.
Well, here's the thing. I never thought about it. Now you mention it. I might remember it now.
Well, now you might be fucked, but I'll be good.
Fuck you too.
Honestly, I think like it's easier taking self-criticism because you're just like,
Oh,
damn.
I think it's
like,
harder. It haunts me more.
Self-criticism
Clearly.
is the hardest because, I mean, there are studies done, but you are more cruel to yourself than you
Yeah.
are to the people around you mentally.
Yeah.
You might not say it, but like a perfect example, and I'm not gonna name any names, but I'll name my own name because fuck me, is body image. I shame myself, right? Like, especially in high school,
Yeah.
when you're trying to fit the cool crowd, when you're trying to, do all that stuff, you're like, man, I need to work out. And like, it's never like now. If I'm gonna work out, I want to perform better, and I want that's good health. It's no longer for like, I want to flex, look good, all that good stuff.
Yeah, man, high school was a weird time.
Okay,
it
this
is.
is truly
Also
we're all
middle school.
developing, but this is
Oh man, middle school.
okay, but
Middle school was rough for me.
All right,
High
but-
school was weird.
I love the
We
I
could
love
have
middle school,
a
yeah.
whole
Let's go.
this podcast episode.
Oh
on
my
that,
God.
We could.
We could. That's true. But
The
like
cringe years.
but like that body image is just one example amongst many where we self-criticize so much harder than we criticize each other. Where I have friends of all shapes and sizes and colors, and
Yeah, I mean,
after you
Yeah, I
get
got a red friend, blue friend, green friend. Got all these friends.
One
one
friend,
of my
blue
friends
friend?
walks in just
Red
nah,
friend,
I'm
blue
blue, right? I know, but it's like you don't even see that anymore. You don't see it because we're friends. We hang out all the time.
That's like
I'm
the
blind to
other
that.
day. I was like, man, I don't even want my picture taken by these trees right now because I feel like I look like a fucking
And here,
thumb
yeah,
or something.
yeah, and,
Oh,
and
yeah.
I told you, like, Chris, I don't know if it's objective or subjective at this point, but in my head, you're always just a good-looking guy.
Yeah, you said
Yeah.
that, and I was like, I don't think so, man. Like, I feel like I look.
And
I agree with that.
All colors.
it's literally all of us who were there trying to take pictures and trying to get you in. We kind of all agreed on that. Like you,
I was like, dude, I look ugly. I'm
No,
not
I
taking
think
some
all of
pictures
you
right now.
guys look really good.
so maybe you
Thank you,
looked
thank
at yourself and okay. So it's the same thing at my time. I didn't really clean up my beard that the day we took pictures, and I'm like, man, I look like shit. But everyone's like, no, you look fine. I'm like, I don't know, man. It is what it is. We
Yeah, I don't know.
we put
We're-
ourselves down harder
Yeah.
than we put anyone else down mentally.
Because I feel like everyone looks so good, man.
Thank you.
Okay, well, Sunny is beautiful. He's
Dude,
beautiful.
Sunny,
he's
Sunny's
hot.
sexy.
Sunny's an
Yeah,
Adonis.
Sunny. I'd like if I weren't gay, I'd hit. If I were gay, sorry, my bad. If I were gay, I'd hit that.
Alright.
100%.
And his alternative universe stuff. The female
Oh, Sunny would hit
alternative-
himself. Is that what he said? He'd fuck his future self.
Yeah.
That's how good looking this guy
His
is.
alternative self, not his future self.
No, I thought you said future.
Well, future Sunny doesn't have
You know,
tits.
fuck them both.
Sunny
Alright.
loves himself a lot.
Or whatever. But yeah, so we put ourselves down more than we need to, and I think good self-help right
Yeah, I
here
think-
is to
I think I'm pretty critical of myself sometimes.
I think we all
Yeah,
are.
everyone is.
everyone
you know?
is, and I'm just saying like we should be
I
able
stay
to
up till like
recognize that.
3 a.m. thinking about everything I've done wrong. And I'm
Mm.
just like, man.
I mean,
Yeah, it
yes,
sucks.
there's a time to improve yourself and criticize yourself and take that into account, but there's also time to like love yourself.
I think
Yeah.
one of these quickie episodes we should go into like maybe some things that we've done in the past to build upon improvement
Oh
or
my
something like
gosh.
that.
Oh
'Cause
yeah,
I know
yeah.
just personally I've tried a lot of different things trying to like make myself better in
Mhm.
different capacities, and we'll talk about that later. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think maybe are there any big takeaways from anyone here?
I mean, I feel like I've just been talking about takeaways, right?
Yeah.
Treat yourself, mentally healthily.
I definitely
Yeah.
like what you said about like determining whether thinking about the source and determining like if it's something to learn from.
Yeah, is this gonna serve you positively in the future?
Mm-hmm.
If not, just let it go. Just let
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
I agree with Chris all the way.
I mean, definitely. I guess try to keep yourself open though to like
Yeah.
Mhm.
also different opinions as well.
Mm-hmm.
Even though they're stupid as hell, you know. Sometimes
Yeah.
you just gotta take it.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes even the smallest thing can help.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like moving tables. I love doing it with my older brother.
Moving tables?
Moving tables and for furniture, whatever. Like moving from floor to floor if we got to do work.
Mm-hmm.
In any case, I love doing it with him because we're fucking stupid. And we're like, you know what? Let's hold it this way and see. Let's see if it slides down. Okay, we're fucking stupid, but I don't know. You just can't do that unless you're willing to handle some criticism from somebody else.
Yeah, I think it hurts the most sometimes when it's from people you don't know, like that guy, because the people.
No, I think it hurts coming back from people you do know.
Yeah, I think It's like the extremes.
The
It's like maybe
extremes hurt.
The extremes do hurt. Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
The personal extreme is because you know they know stuff about you.
Yeah.
And so they say stuff that might push your buttons or really get into you.
The other
Whereas
thing is
the other
like,
extreme for people who don't know, it's more like, is this how the average person sees me? Damn,
Yeah,
I
it's
must
like-
be a shit person.
it's
Yeah.
like how am I
Type of thing.
perceived? Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah.
That's rough.
Whereas a happy medium is like friends, right? When they say shit about you, you're like, fuck you. You know?
Yeah, exactly. And then
Yeah.
also, especially if you have like a relationship already kind of set, you know?
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, we know our boundaries. Usually,
Yeah.
we generally know what not to say and what not to do.
So,
I mean,
I also have trouble with that.
I mean,
yeah. Well, it's
We know.
okay. We all do.
so I mean, like,
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of different for me, I guess, because like, I guess it's different between me and Sunny.
Just
like
because you guys are
we've,
so not
we've
confrontational.
literally known each other for like,
56
I guess-
years now.
yeah, like
Been
almost
married
like
for
a
30 of
millennia.
Yeah.
But like, I mean, like, we literally know each other like to a point where it's like we can literally point out each other's faults and like, I guess in a sense we'll be able to, we won't like hate each other on it.
Oh yeah, no,
No.
we can definitely say that. These guys are literally best friends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Brothers.
Busy brothers.
yeah. What Sonny's mom tells Razme, "Yep, you're my son number one.
That's
Sonny's
my-
son number two." And I was like, "Damn."
I take that criticism really hard.
Sonny's
Razme
exactly.
used to have another best friend named Sunny. Sunny replaced the other
I
Sunny.
killed them.
Oh yeah, this is Sonny 2.0.
That's actually not even Sunny's real name. He just liked that one more.
There's my real name.
Oh, I like Sunny. I think I'll have that one. Punk ass booch.
You're not Sunny no more.
Yeah.
Well,
Alrighty.
That's a quick one with the sick ones
Yeah.
with Razme and Padilla. Thanks for coming, guys,
Thank you
you.
for having us.
and
Thanks for having me.
see you guys next time on the Sick Podcast.
Hope you. It was a quick release for you guys. See you guys later.
Make sure to like, hit that subscribe button.
Tell your friends. Tell your mom.
subscribe to PewDiePie.
We'll see you next time.
All right, peace.